CSM Radio Sports Center.
I'm Robert Zuccaro. History was made last night at Madison Square Gardens in New York.
McDonough will clear. 5 seconds remaining. Subban has it. 3, 2, 1. For the first time in 20 years, the New York Rangers are headed to the Stanley Cup Finals.
It was not the playoff game Denver had in mind, losing 38-35 in double overtime to Baltimore. Going back and forth all game long, the Broncos regained the lead with 7 minutes remaining in the game. Peyton Manning connected with Demaryius Thomas, who ran it for a 17-yard touchdown to give the Broncos a 35-28 lead. With 40 seconds left, Joe Flacco of the Ravens threw it 71 yards to Jacoby Jones, who tied the game. Going into the second overtime, things did not get any easier for the boys of Colorado. On their second possession, the Broncos handed the Ravens the game. Peyton Manning couldn't believe it.
Bad throw. Probably the decision not great either. Thought I had him open, didn't get enough on it, and trying to make a play and certainly a throw I'd like to have back.
He threw the ball into the arms of Ravens cornerback Corey Graham. 16 yards and 5 plays later, Baltimore's Justin Tucker kicked a 47-yard field goal to send the Broncos packing 38-35 in double overtime. From Denver, Colorado, I'm Robert Zuccaro, CSM Radio. The Toronto Raptors are looking to rebound from a tough loss, and they did so by beating the Pelicans 107-100. DeMar DeRozan had a 31-point night, Tyler Hansbrough registered 13 rebounds, and Kyle Lowry added 5 assists. Grievous Vasquez was also a solid provider of offense, scoring 17 points in the 107-100 victory. From New Orleans, I'm Robert Zuccaro, CSM. This was a tough one to swallow for the Cardinals just because they won games 2 and 3 and they had a 2-1 series lead. It looked like that the momentum might be in their favor going into game 4, but then, of course, Red Sox rallied. But despite all the bad things that happened, the complications that St. Louis faced throughout the playoffs, I think the biggest positive they can take away from this is Michael Wacha has certainly shown that he could be a starting pitcher in the MLB, and I think the Cardinals are in good hands with him on the mound. I look at that Canucks team, and ever since they lost in the Stanley Cup Finals to Boston, I would say the psyche of that team has been damaged because the dressing room has been the same. There was rumors that a lot of guys were playing the blame game, defense blamed the offense blamed the defense. Nobody really took into consideration that Boston just played a really good 7-game series that year, and they really took it to the Canucks. They shut down the Sedins and Kessler. Their defense couldn't stop the high-powered Bruins offense, and you know what? Luongo, I wouldn't say he was to blame for that loss. He played the best he could. I think it could go either way for the Raptors. I think it's a failure if they finish middle of the pack. They don't finish near the bottom, or they don't make the playoffs. So I think they have a very tough decision ahead of them. But one team that cannot stand pat at this moment is the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've got a big bullseye painted on their foreheads as usual. This is CSM Sports Wrap. I am your host, Robert Zuccaro. You know what? The way I see it is here in the city of Toronto, it's never a bad time to talk about hockey, whether it's spring, summer, fall, or winter. There's always a subject to be talked about. With the Stanley Cup playoffs on right now, there's lots to discuss. But you know what? A focus I want to look at today is the Toronto Maple Leafs. As you know, we are in the city of Toronto, and there are plenty of fans here that have to wonder what the game plan is for Brendan Shanahan and the rest of MLSC after, I guess you could say, this disastrous season, because there's certainly been more than a few questions that needed answered. They thought they answered them in the offseason. A moment of reflection outside of sports. The first democratically elected president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, passed away yesterday at the age of 95. We leave you with some of his final words.
Sport has the power to change the world.
Sports every 20 minutes on CSM Radio.